So when Sweden's Minister for International Development, Hanna, together with Commissioner Fieldbags and 25 other eminent persons were decided to constitute the United Nations High-Level Panel post-2015, one of their tasks, as stated in the terms of reference, was to consult broadly and widely with other actors, globally, regionally, and nationally. So, first of all, I would like to thank you, Commissioner Fieldbags, for the excellent work you've done in the panel and the report that far exceeded many of our expectations, I think. When Minister Hanna was appointed to be in the panel, she early announced that she would indeed consult with Swedish actors at 3 different levels. So she decided to work through the Swedish Agency for International Development Cooperation, SIDA, when they divided their outreach into 3 groups. So it was first youth, private sector, and then civil society. So with youth, the government of Sweden and Hansson decided to work with the National Council of Swedish Youth, and they asked them to put forward a so-called shadow report to the panel's report. That one is delivered to the Minister Hansson in the beginning of July, so we're looking forward to that. It's supposed to reflect not only Swedish youth, but their partners' reflections on the panel's report. With the private sector, the Swedish SIDA decided to create a partnership with Swedish private sector, because as we've talked about earlier today, it really is key to start building these new partnerships and to bring in private sector into this as our friends. But I won't talk much about the partnership with the private sector because it's not my area. But when it comes to the civil society side, the minister has, in her high-level panel, before all the meetings, consulted with Swedish civil society. We've provided our inputs before all the meetings. We've given her our positions, and we've been very much involved in how the process of developing the report has been going on. So another part that becomes more international, with the Swedish Development Agency decided as the only country actually in the world to support the Beyond 2015 campaign financially. And just a reminder of what the Beyond 2015 actually is, kind of going back to what Riley was talking about, it really is an effort from civil society to create a truly global campaign. It's bringing together now more than 650 civil society organizations from more than 100 different countries to work together to put forward these vision and these principles. I think that's something really unique that we should keep building on. And I would like to also remind us what the Beyond 2015 campaign is really aiming at doing. First of all, they are trying to create what we've all talked about, truly global, overarching, and indeed cross-cutting framework to succeed the Millennium Development Goals and hopefully improve that agenda. But it also has a second goal to make sure that the process of developing this is truly participatory and inclusive and very importantly responsive to the voices of the poor. And I think all of us have a responsibility there to actually participate and not just wait for it to be participatory. So the Beyond 2015 campaign is divided into regional hubs where there is a European hub, the European Task Force. And the European Task Force has worked very closely and is working very closely with EU's decision makers. And we have provided our input before the Council conclusions on what we think needs to be in there. We've also developed joint position papers with all the 200 civil society organizations representing the European part. It's putting people on planet first. Business as usual is not an option. I only have one copy, but for you, those of you who don't have it, you can find it and download it on the Beyond 2015's webpage. I know that It was launched a month ago in Brussels, and I know that Commissioner Piebalgs was there directly and received it. So when it comes to Swedish civil society, we decided really early that this is something that we need to be a part of. This is something that's really important. We also realized that we can't do this in our different groups. We really have to work together. So then CONCORD Sweden was asked to coordinate Swedish civil society in this process. So we're now a group of about 20 organizations working on both environmental issues and social issues and all of that, that have together brought forward our position on what we think is the overarching principles for the agenda. So I will go into just briefly a couple of the points, and I'm happy to see that they are very much in line with the points of my colleagues from civil society, but also from the EU. But our vision is to truly create an integrated post-2015 agenda that creates a good life for all within the observance of human rights and within the limits of one planet. So the key is to have an integrated agenda that is universal, and we really make sure that this time rich countries are ready to change their policies and their practices too. We also think that it's very important to focus on the how rather than the what, and that the universal rights agenda, universal human rights must be at the center.
Really from Finland, Hanna from Sweden. You come from the countries with traditional development cooperation, with also quite a considerable funding. And this is very important. We are positively envious about this that you have. But what would you advise to the Latvian NGOs, which have to, not only Latvia, which have to run a very limited resources which they can also use for development cooperation?
My recommendation would be naturally representing CONCORD to work together instead of really what Latvia is doing. Bring the expertise together, use each other's networks, and because that's the only way we can do it. It takes less resources and it has a much higher impact when we communicate with decision makers and we can help educate each other. I think, that is my answer.
I think there's really a very crucial role for the European Commission as well to allocate resources for the countries. And I think that the way we really have to underline and focus at the moment is awareness raising, development education in the countries. It's absolutely crucial now if we really would like to change the mind and the mindset what we are having, because we are not really just talking about the development, we are really talking about the global agenda, and that's why we need to really have the resources also from the Commission side.
So it means that not just a change of mindset and mind of the people, but also actual decision makers as well.
Absolutely, they are going hand in hand.
Thanks.